Hi, I'm Robert Tolby, and today I'm talking about online public shaming during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'll be discussing the ethical implications of a subreddit called r/Herman Cain Award, an online community named after Herman Cain, a prominent member of the Republican Party who died of COVID shortly after tweeting that the virus didn't exist. The subreddit has a wealth of threads featuring people who boast on social media about not taking precautions against COVID-19 and then die from it. Although, at face value, the subreddit is just a bunch of self-righteous ding-dongs laughing at misinformed people whose decisions got the better of them, I wonder if there's more to it than that. Is there a place for this kind of public shaming in a world where a single cough can kill you? Moreover, if shaming effectively changes people's behavior to the point of saving lives, is the practice morally justified? Before we talk about shaming, I'd like to briefly thank AtlasVPN for sponsoring this video. They're offering their product at a huge discount. Right now, you can get their 3-year subscription for just $1.39 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description below. Public shaming is as old as civilization itself. It has long been used to discourage people from partaking in behaviors deemed undesirable. Whether people were pilloried, tarred and feathered, or tied to the town whipping pole, the effect was the same. Onlookers would see the person looking like an idiot in the town square and think to themselves, I don't want to do what that guy did because I don't want to end up in the stocks. That would be embarrassing. You can see this message in this post from r/Herman Cain Award titled, Lauren was an unvaccinated RN. Don't be like Lauren. So what this post is implying is get vaccinated or end up on the Herman Cain Award subreddit, which doesn't sound too appealing. You can see how this type of shaming can dissuade others from acting in a socially unacceptable manner. Shaming uses the primal feelings of ostracism and embarrassment to discourage others from partaking in undesirable behavior. It occurs when members of the in-group, usually the majority party, shame others in the out-group. Being unvaccinated puts a person in the out-group, as unvaccinated people are in the minority, which leaves them vulnerable to shaming. Public ridicule of other unvaccinated people results in someone feeling they need to get vaccinated in order to become a protected member of the in-group. At least, that's the theory. But does this work in practice? And would the posts on r/Herman Cain Award elicit such a response from unvaccinated people? Before we analyze one of these posts, I'd like to talk a little more about the sponsor of this video, AtlasVPN. AtlasVPN is a tool that allows you to browse the web privately from anywhere in the world using the power of advanced encryption protocols. This adds an added layer of privacy so that it's harder for bad actors to steal your data. While extra security is always nice, the main reason why VPNs are so awesome is because you can change your virtual location to almost anywhere in the world. This allows you to unlock content on streaming services that aren't available in your country. Let's say you want to watch a British TV show that's geo-blocked in the US on the streaming service Netflix. All you have to do is go to your VPN dashboard and set your location to the UK, and boom, it shows up in search results ready for you to watch. There are tons of titles you can unlock using this method. And how much does this VPN cost, you ask? It's only $1.39 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee for their 3-year subscription. This is a limited time offer. Link to their site is in the description below. Anyways, let's go back to that post titled, Lauren was an unvaccinated RN, don't be like Lauren. This thread on the Herman Cain Award subreddit catalogs a series of memes and status updates a woman named Lauren made on Facebook. You can see the effects of the Facebook algorithm feeding her content that was more and more radical, warping her perception of the world. Her social media history is somewhat disturbing. It began with benign memes about how the pandemic sucks. Take a look at this one with a woman pouring her liquor into a cup captioned, "Oh look, the virus is still here and it's raining again." It all went downhill from that post. They became progressively more harmful, spreading doubt about the efficacy of vaccines and the motives of people in power. At some point, she began posting updates about her health. She contracted the virus and became very ill. The final screenshot is a post made by her friend expressing her shock after Lauren's death. Underneath that post, there are hundreds of comments making callous jokes about this woman's death, of course. You won't finish 2021 at all, Lauren. Don't be so pretentious. At least she'll be good and spooky for Halloween. But humor is not the main vibe I'm getting from these comments. The main feeling shared by a lot of these commenters is unbridled rage at this woman. She was a frontline nurse and still this stupid, remember kid, your mom was a dumbass. ECMO RT here. I'm tired. I'm vaxxed. Fuck Lauren. Lauren, rest in piss. You're literally the worst type of offender to me. My mom retired as an RN after years of taking an oath under God to protect others with the science she was taught. My wife today does the same. You're now a disgraced nurse and dead from stupidity. Oh dear, that seems like a little much, doesn't it? I understand that Lauren was not a very good person, but she's essentially a random stranger. What led these people to be so angry at a woman they never met? Firstly, I feel like the months of isolation have frustrated people, especially when they see others living as if COVID doesn't exist. Attacking Lauren is an outlet for all that pent-up anger. The most vocal and angry commenters are healthcare workers on the front lines. They watch people die every day from COVID, and when they see a fellow frontline worker posting memes like that, I can understand why they become so furious. Another factor in the cruelty of these posts is the anonymity of a site like Reddit. That, combined with the herd mentality of being a part of a larger group of people bent on shaming, makes them say things that they wouldn't say individually. Some of these comments are also driven by a feeling of superiority as well. The commenters may feel like they are more intelligent and considerate people by distancing themselves from a woman branded as stupid and inconsiderate. But motives aside, are these comments constructive? Does this visceral reaction against irresponsible behavior serve a societal purpose? To an extent, it does. As business and government entities restrict access to their services on the basis of vaccination status, the pressure to follow these norms increases immensely. It's becoming harder and harder to hide the fact that you aren't vaccinated, as people are going to start asking why you can't attend a school or go to a restaurant. Now that it's easier to tell who's vaccinated and who's not, people can use their knowledge of someone's vaccination status as a factor to measure someone's worth as a friend or an employee or a student and distance themselves from them. This leaves unvaccinated people vulnerable to the kinds of shaming seen on Reddit, which makes them feel marginalized. Many white, evangelical, unvaccinated people have made claims that this shaming is no different from the prejudiced actions that Black or Jewish people face. I have many issues with that. First of all, being Black or Jewish is not a choice someone makes. Second of all, one's Blackness or Jewishness harms no one, while being unvaccinated literally kills people. And finally, if you're able to shed your marginalized status with a 5-second prick of a needle and you choose not to, the ostracism you face is entirely brought upon by your own actions and not some kind of unchangeable characteristic about yourself. I know that sounds like victim blaming, but it's not. This isn't akin to someone being blamed for their murder for walking in a bad neighborhood at night. This is akin to blaming someone for their death for wearing a bullseye costume at a shooting range. To compare the inconvenience of not being able to eat at Applebee's to someone oppressing you is ridiculous. If there's no legitimate reason why you shouldn't get vaccinated, then it's your choice to face the shaming. But is it someone's right to be protected from shaming even if they made a bad decision, like not getting vaccinated? In the US, criminal convictions are public record, and arrests are often published in the local paper. The argument for this practice is making this information available protects others from these dangerous people. This makes sense if someone assaults another person. By knowing they committed a heinous crime, you can make the decision to avoid them to protect yourself. But what purpose does publicizing someone's insignificant nonviolent offenses serve? I don't care if someone smoked a little something something in the privacy of their own home. That doesn't affect me. So why is their arrest in the paper? Wouldn't it be more important to know that someone is risking your health by spreading COVID because they chose not to be vaccinated? At what point does privacy need to be sacrificed in the name of public safety? I'm pretty sure that not many people would support publishing people's medical records in the local news. But what if these unvaccinated people decide to come out as an anti-vaxxer online? Should vigilantes on Reddit post their information on threads seen by thousands of people? It's important to recognize that these people chose to make a public post online for the entire world to see that they weren't vaccinated. I don't see why reposting is morally questionable. If it's online instead of in a private conversation, they wanted it to be heard and seen. But what about r/Herman Cain Award? Those people are no longer with us, so it's not like publicizing that they're unvaccinated will directly protect anyone from them. But using someone's misfortune to prove a point also serves a public good. Remember this CDC campaign about warning people about the health risks of smoking? The CDC claims this campaign worked. Their research indicated that it saved over 100,000 people from early death and saved billions in healthcare costs. I wonder if r/Herman Cain Award has a similar effect. But that CDC campaign was not without controversy. People criticized it as being too forceful and depending too much on negative reinforcement, as in associating bad behavior with an unpleasant feeling like the fear of being disfigured. In a way, r/Herman Cain Award suffers from the same pitfalls as a CDC campaign. It relies on negative emotions like anger and embarrassment to make a point. While I'm sure r/Herman Cain Award has succeeded in making at least some anti-vaxxers feel foolish, it could also push anti-vaxxers away by making vaccinated people seem heartless and unsympathetic. I feel like there's another way to go about this. Rather than publishing stories of people acting foolish and passing away, we can post inspiring stories of people who got vaccinated and are living their lives to the fullest. Influencers should take selfies of themselves getting the shot, tweeting their status updates. I think that would be highly effective. As my friend once said, if Kylie Jenner sat down and got the vaccine on camera, she'd single-handedly convince 1 million people to get the shot. Leveraging the power of parasocial relationships that influencers have created between themselves and their fan base is a vital tool in fighting the pandemic and promoting healthy behavior. This idea has already been implemented by the US government to an extent. The Biden administration reached out to famous TikTokers to talk about vaccines on their platform, and even invited Olivia Rodrigo to the White House. These campaigns come with the downside that a handful of people might use them as evidence to fuel their belief that the government is controlling everyone and the influencers are in on it. I feel like that's only a small amount of people that believe that, though. Most people refusing to get the vaccine are on the fence about it and haven't quite donned their tinfoil hats yet. This is the demographic that these campaigns would perform well on, while this same demographic might not be so sympathetic towards a cackling den of Reddit users mocking dead people who had some of the same doubts about the vaccine that they have. While the Herman Cain Award subreddit might be somewhat effective at dissuading people from acting foolish when it comes to vaccines, ultimately it's more of a source of entertainment than anything else. While you could argue all day about whether or not shaming the dead is morally justified if it saves people's lives, I don't think I have to tell you whether or not it's polite to shame dead people for the sole purpose of entertainment. Anyways, I'm Robert Tolpe, and if you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and maybe even check out my Patreon link below if you'd like to support the channel, and I hope you have a good week. Bye-bye!